Sorry, I haven't connected my microphone. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me all right? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, so let's get ourselves ready for a bit of restorative practice. So just get your blanket over your mat just to give you a little bit of comfort, a little bit of quietness, a feeling that you're kind of almost replicating the security of bed. So just have a bolster for underneath your knees, and then a bolster for underneath your feet, and then have a folded blanket. Make sure it's nicely folded. Just have that for your head, and then just bring yourself down onto the floor. So the bolster is underneath your knees, the blanket is underneath your head. If you're wearing glasses, it's nice to take them off. If you've got something to block out the light, like a eye pillow or flannel or something, obviously a dry one, then it's good to just cover your eyes, just to put a little bit of weight on your eyes, but to make the room feel darker. Just rest your hands out to the side of the body, and then spend a moment or two just ascertaining your level of comfort. So remember that the priority here is warmth and comfort. So if you feel like you might be a little chilly, then cover yourself over with a blanket. If the equipment doesn't feel like it's in the right place, just adjust until it does. Just release into the floor. Listen to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. Just listen to the sound of your breath as it enters and as it exits. Allow the rib cage to expand with the in-breath and to contract with the out-breath. Spend a little time just giving yourself permission to relax. Commit yourself to being here for the hour and release into the floor. This is an essential part of your recuperation after your day. Maybe your day has been filled with work or lots of home tasks. Some of them have been good, some of them have probably been a little disappointing. Just spend a little time now just appreciating the contact with the floor, just allowing yourself to release into the floor, giving yourself permission to be here. Draw your attention to the soles of the feet. So much so that the skin of the underside of the foot feels like it comes to life, almost tingling. Draw your attention to the soles of the feet, to the skin, and relax the skin and the flesh and the muscle and the bone and the marrow of the bone. Draw your attention to the tops of the feet. And relax the skin and the flesh and the muscle and the bone and the marrow of the bone. Draw your attention into your shins. And consciously relax the skin and the flesh below the skin and the muscle and the bones and the marrow of the bones. So that the shin bone sits gently on the bed of the calf muscle. Draw your attention into your kneecaps and your thighs. And relax the skin and the flesh. Relax the muscle and the bone and the marrow of the bone. Just letting the thighs and the kneecaps relax into the backs of the thighs, sink in the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Draw your attention into your torso. And allow the torso to completely relax from the skin and the flesh and the muscle and the bone and the marrow of the bone. So we relax from the core of the bone. Relax the torso into the floor. Relaxing into the core of the bone. Draw your attention into your arms and your hands. And relax your arms into the floor, letting go of the muscles of the arms. And relax the arms and the hands, just resting them into the floor. All the way to the core of the bones. Draw your attention into your neck and your skull. And then relax the skin around the skull, lengthening the forehead down away from the crown of the head, softening the ears and the facial muscles. When you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, just bend your knees, rest your feet on top of the bolster. Just let your back rest into the floor for a moment. And then gently roll over onto your side and then sit yourself up. So get your blanket and just unfold it a little so that it's this kind of long, kind of narrow blanket, and then fold it down the middle again, so it becomes narrower still. And then fold that blanket over again, so you've got this kind of quite thick blanket for your shoulder blades. Move the blocks out of the way and come down into mountain brook. So again, your knees are supported with the bolster, and then come down. The blanket should be in your shoulder blade region, so just you might have to adjust a couple of times to get it into the right place. So it's in the shoulder blades, but your shoulders should be able to kind of effectively reach the floor as well. And then just rest your arms over your head like this. So keep your hands together, rest the arms so that the armpit area really opens up. Again, you can cover your eyes just to create a little darkness if you've got something to cover your eyes with, like an eye pillow. So this pose, mountain brook, is just a really nice way to reinvigorate yourself. Opens up the armpit chest, which is good for the immune system. Just allow yourself to release into the floor. I'll speak less and less as we progress, so that you can just relax rather than having to listen. So Christine, if it's uncomfortable in your back to have the blanket in your shoulder blade region, you can just do this without the blanket in your back if you prefer. focus deeply on the breath. Okay, release your hands down to the sides of the body and your knees. Just rest your feet on the bolster for a moment and then just gently roll yourself onto your side and then sit yourself up. So we'll just get so you can either use your blanket, or if you've got an oblong bolster, then you can use an oblong bolster for our supported side twist. So I'll show you. So you might want a block for your head for this. So either a bolster, the blanket just folded up as it was, you might want to fold it up a little more. Just come down onto your side with the blanket in the armpit, chest region, and then stretch your arm over your head. You might want to fold your blanket over again, or if you've got one of these oblong bolsters, then that can be really nice for this as well. So just stretch the side along the bolster, just bring the shoulder down onto the floor, support your head with the block, and then keeping your knees bent, just stretch your arm over your head. So this really helps to release stiff shoulders and stiff neck. As you inhale, try to breathe evenly into both lungs, even though one of your sides is slightly constricted with the lift. In a moment, we're going to just come out of this pose, but we're going to stay down. This might be a little strong for stiff backs, so you can just, if you've got stiffness in the back, then you can just stay in this pose. Otherwise, just bring the top arm down so that the arm is at the side of the body, and then bring both arms together. So the arms are kind of, the elbows are almost not necessarily touching, but close together. And then we're going to just lift the top arm and then bring it over to the side so that it floats in the air. You might want to straighten that arm or keep the arm bent like a cactus. So it's a little supine spinal twist. So your knees stay together, your chest opens up, the front of the shoulder really opens. If it's too strong, then you can put the lift underneath the floating hand. So if this is too strong for your back, then just go back to the side supported stretch. Okay, and then just bring that arm back over onto your side. So you just, two hands together, your elbows close together, just resting on your side. And then straighten out the top leg and then come up into a seated position. Just sit and cross legs for a moment. Just observe the difference in the two sides of the body. And then we'll go over to the other side. So keep all the equipment where it is. Just sit on the other hip. Lengthen the side ribs as you bring the chest down along the bolster or the blanket. Rest your head. Have your forearm just in a little right angle. Either rest your upper arm on your hip or stretch your arm over your ear and relax. And again, stay here if you are protecting your back. Otherwise, bring the top arm down so that the two hands are together, the elbows are close to each other. And then keep your knees where they are. Just stretch the top arm over to the side. You might have to adjust the position of your head lift. And a little spinal twist. So you can either straighten that arm or have it like a cactus. Okay, when you're ready, just bring that arm back to your side so the two hands are touching. Just rest for a moment. And then push yourself up into a seated position. Just come into cross legs for a moment. Just observe how both sides of the body feel a little more even. Perhaps you can feel how you stretched out your neck and your shoulders. So we're going to come into a supported bridge pose. Now, you need two bolsters for this, but if you haven't got two bolsters, one will do, and you can use blocks. So I'll show you with blocks. Well, I'll show you bolsters first, and then so one bolster like this. Actually, that's probably better this way around. So if you've got an oblong bolster, have that for your feet, and one of the bolsters for your upper body. And then, so I show you first, and then we'll go up. And then you need a belt, and you're gonna sit yourself on the upper bolster with a belt around your legs. So have a belt around your just above your knees will be fine. Just quite tight. You're not trying to stop your circulation, and then you're just going to roll your chest off the end of the bolster and then slide off so that your shoulders rather are on the floor, and then you can rest your arms over your head like this. To come out of the pose, we're going to slip the belt off and then come up into a seated position. Now, if you haven't got a second bolster, then what you can do is instead of the bolster, you can just get some blocks, just pile them up, and then you can just rest your legs on the on the pile of blocks like this. So they need to be reasonably wide to support your legs. But this will just give you the same type of support as you would have otherwise. So some blocks or a second bolster if you've got one. Just have a belt around your legs, then you can relax your legs without any discomfort. Just roll yourself off the bolster so that your shoulders are on the floor. If this is uncomfortable in your back, just shuffle down a little bit more, and then keep the chest lifted. Rest your arms over your head. So a supported bridge, a little gentle inversion. You can just let your legs release the belt or hold them in place. If you find that the circular bolster is a bit tight in your back, then try an oblong bolster in the upper body. So we've worked to lift and open the shoulders. to release out of the pose, just bring your arms to the sides of the body, bend your knees, and then slide the belt off your knees. And then just very gently, just roll yourself off the bolster and bring yourself up into a seated position. And then just a little supported back bend. You're just going to come down onto the floor, lift the seat bones up, and just move the bolster underneath your lower back. So if this doesn't feel good for you, if you've got back problems, then you can just lay directly on the floor, go back into basic relaxation pose. But otherwise, you can have the bolster underneath your lower back, and again, just rest your arms over your head and keep your knees bent. So just a little supported back bending pose, a bit like Setu Bandha. Keep your chest lifted if you can. So a sequence of poses that just restore your energy. Of shoulder work, just allowing the shoulders to open up. When we open our shoulders, we open our energy. Okay, and then just lift the seat bones, just roll the bolster away. Just bring the bolster underneath your knees. Have your blanket just for underneath your head. Just fold it up like a little pillow. And then just for the last couple of minutes, just our basic relaxation pose. Just a variation of the one that we began with. Just let the body release into the floor. spend a moment to allow the body to become heavy. And then observe the lightness that rises to the uppermost skin. That feeling of lightness of your energy. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to evenly distribute that feeling of lightness throughout the body, down to the tips of the toes, tips of the fingers, and to the top of the head. Basking in the glow of positive energy. When you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, just bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana, and then bend your knees, pull your knees in toward your chest, just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just a gentle grounding massage. And then gently roll over onto your right side. Straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs with your hands in the Namaste, just a final spinal lift. Close your eyes, draw your breath in through your nose down into your abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this evening, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the gentle yoga poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And by sharing our positive energy comes back to us. Release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards, and as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you have just reinvigorated your energy a little, and you've got lots of energy to put into your evening. So thank you very much.